Hello and welcome to another edition of the One Team We Agree On. I'm Jillian.
I'm Kyle. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great because I'm on summer break. I'm done teaching for the year.
Yes, and how was your year?
It was pretty good. It was not bad.
Yeah, so today's guest is somebody that we met at the Sons of Ben tailgate. What was the we did a Instagram post and it was us dancing and Andrew came in and started dancing. What song was that?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was like,
I'm not okay.
yeah,
Goodness.
it was definitely, yeah, My Chemical Romance, something
I
like
Yes.
was gonna say
Uh
it's something, yeah, I'm Not Okay by My Chemical Romance.
that.
yeah, so and And s like a lot of these things in life, you start to see people around the lot a lot, and we develop, a good acquaintance and somebody that we see all the time. He always has a smile on his face, as Todd Lewis, a friend, has said, was in his section, always a great guy. Andrew Gerber is on the podcast today, and welcome, Andrew. And he's also Sons of Ben Capo, and it's always good to have Sons of Ben people on the podcast.
Yes, I think he's what, our second capo well, no. We've had a few capos on,
We've
but
had a
So
few.
yeah,
you had Ptolemy
Polmy
on at
and
one
we've
point
had
into that.
Polmy on. Rich has been on. Yeah.
Rich has been on,
But
Okay.
yeah. But
so
yeah,
Very
it's
nice.
good.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much for having me, and it's been nice getting to know you guys over the course of the season thus far, and catching you guys at the tailgates and also at the like U2 games and stuff. It's seems like you guys are everywhere, so it's nice.
here's this one thing I always say about you, Andrew. You always have a smile on your face. You always shake people's hands. And for me, being in the healthcare profession, that means a lot to a lot of people.
Hmm.
So I appreciate that. And I've always respected that. And you're always just fun to talk to, man. Like, it's just a good
You know,
time.
that may actually come from my background in healthcare as well. 'Cause I work in mental health. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
I work in like a structured residence with people who have a wide range of different,
Mhm.
things that they're trying to tackle in their lives. So it's a unique experience, but it's one of those eye-opening things that kind of brings you more perspective on a lot of different people, and it's definitely been one of the things that has led me to being more personable and being open to meeting so many different people and getting to know people.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, with me as a community health director at the YMCA here in York and Lancaster, I mean, I see
Mm.
so many people, cancer, diabetes, I could name it all, but the biggest thing is mental health. And I think, as you see, needs to be addressed more in the community. And I think to me, it's something very personable. And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
So what are we wearing today?
All right. Well, it is June. It is Pride Month. So I'm wearing my Sons of Ben um Pride t-shirt here with the rainbows on it. And it's a favorite of mine for sure.
And I'm wearing the tie-dye from last year,
Yeah, and we're gonna be tie-dyeing this Saturday too.
and I love my tie-dye.
I do too. I'm probably gonna wear mine soon, sometime this month.
Maybe Saturday?
Maybe.
Alright.
We'll see.
Andrew, what are you wearing?
I am also wearing one of I'll call it a Unity jersey. I think it
Mm-hmm.
was meant to be like a pride thing, but it was definitely like the North America kind of connection jersey with the roses. And I'm trying to remember what these flowers are called, but they're like a Canadian peace flower symbol or something like
Mhm.
that. And then I got, gosh, I wrote down her name just to try to remember, and now I'm not going to remember. But the artist who did the Juneteenth 19 logo last year, I got that
Mhm.
put onto the back of this as well because I like the inclusivity, and it also just kind of works with it. There's all kinds of flowers. I'll have to send you a picture later. We'll put it
Yeah.
in post.
And
Y
please do, because we love sharing those kind of things, and you love your Juneteenth jersey.
Well, I have the Unity top that Andrew's wearing. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was my lucky jersey. I got it in 2022, and when I started wearing it, they just started winning. They stopped doing draws. So I wore it at the last game. We didn't lose. So there's that. I brought it out. I had retired it after the loss in Cincinnati to end last season. I was like, I'm gonna move on now and just wear it sometimes, but brought it out the last game. It is one of my favorites for sure. Now I do have a Juneteenth jersey from 2022 that I won in the auction. That's Stuart Finley one, but
Yeah,
I don't wear
I
that
really
one
like
though.
those. The numbers are really cool on them.
they
Yeah.
are. They are. So where can people find us?
So we are on social media on Twitter at TOTWAG. We are on Instagram and Facebook at the One Team We Agree On. You can find us on our personal Twitter accounts as well. I'm at silly__Jilly, and Kyle is at Coach Almany.
Yeah.
And we also have our YouTube channel, The One Team We Agree On, and our website, theoneteamweagreeon.com.
So let's get into this. So Andrew, for those not familiar with you, tell us about yourself. How'd you get into soccer, and more importantly, the union?
So the union part is a little bit more of a complicated answer, uh, but but we'll get to that there. But you know, I'm a 33-year-old guy who stumbled into soccer way too late in my life. I've been a Philadelphia fan for, you know, as long as I could stand. I mean, I got pictures of me and Philly stuff from before I could stand. So it's one of those things that's just kind of like ingrained into you, you know.
Mhm.
I played soccer when I was young, but I was not very good at it. And in 2010, I had a roommate in college. His name is Shane Donahue. I've unfortunately lost contact with Shane over the ages, but I remember we were sitting around playing FIFA the one day, and he was like, "You know what? I'm gonna head down to Philly, I think, because they've got this thing going on." Or I'm sorry, it was back in 2007. Gosh.
Oh wow.
Um, so back then he was like, "I think I'm gonna go to this thing," and I was like, "Philly doesn't have a soccer team. What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Oh, they're holding this thing. They're trying to get a soccer team." I was like, well, soccer's not really that popular of a sport. You know, like who follows soccer? This is America, right?
Hmm.
Because I was very stuck in that American mindset of, well, soccer is like, you know, I'm trying to think of how to put it, but like being a football player growing up, you got a lot of the competition of like the American football's tough, and
Mhm.
European soccer is not so much. So he actually became a founding member of the Sons of Ben.
Mhm.
So like when I look back at pictures every once in a while, I'm like, man, like on Founders Day, I'll look back and see it and be like, I can't believe that's like I could have been standing right next to him.
Right.
I've been here this whole time, but instead I missed out on it. Um, but in 2018, luckily enough for me, I got to miss a lot of the the bad years from what I hear for the Union.
Mhm.
Um, a family friend of our the family, the Bruns, Jeff and Robin. They are season ticket holders. They've been season ticket holders since day one. They invited me to come to a game. We were talking one night over a fire pit, and they're like, "If you love hockey that much, you'd probably love soccer." So we came out. I watched a game, and I was really into it. Like I was really enjoying it. But then Jeff said, "You know what we should do? Should go down to the river end real quick." And I had no concept of what that meant. Um, and we walked in, and I think maybe 2 minutes into being in there, they scored a goal. So I got to see the entire section go crazy. For the people who were around in that time period, you know, I got to see Adam Booth in all of his glory, you know, streaming his way across with no shirt on, screaming, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I immediately was like, what is this place? I want to come back so badly. And it really just snowballed from there. 2019, I started going to games very, very regularly to a point where I was like, I should just get at least partial season tickets. Then as COVID was rearing its ugly head, I actually bought my first full season ticket in 2020. And then it was like, hey, we're gonna have to curtail that a little bit. But yeah, so 2018 was the start of my union adventure, even though I could have jumped in back in 2007. And I'm more than more than happy to be here.
It's awesome. I mean, honestly, I can feel that because I wasn't really into soccer, but I was a Philly fan in general, so
You were a hockey fan
uh I was hockey, baseball, football,
in that
kind
order.
of basketball.
In that order, you love
Very
hockey.
casual Sixers fan,
You're
but
like me. You love hockey.
I would say well,
Yeah.
I was pretty much like, hardcore Eagles, Phillies, Flyers, and then more casual Sixers fan, and didn't follow soccer at all. I played soccer for a couple years when I was a little kid, and I was mid, but I was okay at it, but not great. So no, like that that sounds very familiar. And we started going in 2019 ourselves. So, but yeah, it's like when you go and you see what a great time it is, and that's what it's all about. Like that
It
sucked
really
us in.
is. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's what we tell people all the time. You need to come to a game. Even
Hmm.
now, like get to a game, experience it because once you go and you're like, well, I watch soccer on TV. No, go and actually experience an MLS game because it's amazing.
Yeah.
It,
I know too many people who like poo-poo going to soccer games and stuff. They're like, oh, some of my own family members. You know.
but what's funny is like all our friends we've brought now they're like, hey, when are you going to the next uni game? You guys got an open ticket in River End? I'm like, yeah. And like this
That's
year,
always what it is.
yeah,
The
it's
first
like
one's free, baby. The first one's free. We hook you in.
right.
Hmm.
And the funny thing is, like, one of our good coaching colleagues from swimming, he's like now been because I go up in the press box or she goes up in the press box, he's like, let me know. And then other one's always on standby, and then another one's always on standby. And then two former teammates of mine who have had season tickets in the past were like, hey, we're back in now. Let's
Mm.
go. Like, let me know. And I'm like, hey, we always got an extra ticket if you want to come down hang out with us. So
Yeah. So you talked about how you started going to the games. So how'd you get involved with Sons of Ben?
With Sons of Ben, I mean, like most people, I showed up in the River End and I started hearing the chants and wanted to be part of them because it's hard not to want to be part of the chorus when you
Hmm.
start hearing it. Um, and then honestly, I just started showing up to tailgates and just asking what I could do. Like I didn't I didn't have a consistent like I wasn't gonna be there every day kind of thing.
Hmm.
And I didn't even really know sometimes if I was gonna be there till maybe the day before the game when I was like more casual, or when I was still coming in with the like my partial season tickets. I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll go to the game, maybe. And then I would show up to the tailgates and see, like the grill was empty. So I'd run over to somebody like Jess Gussler, and be like,
mhm.
hey, you know, is there something I could do? Do you need help over on the grill? And she was super, super welcoming. I think she was really the first person that really welcomed me into like Sons of Ben. Um, her and I mean, I the perennial Adam Booth helping me
Hmm.
feel welcome in the River End was one thing, but yeah, I think she was my first real interaction in the Sons of Ben, and then again having the family members or the family friends being, at least in the know enough and being members of the Sons of Ben to be like, hey, come on down to the lot and let's hang out. um, I did get a taste of the old lot, so I'm glad that I was there for that.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, yeah, it was really just showing up and looking around and seeing people and with smiling faces who looked like they could use a hand and saying, "Hey, what can I do?"
Do you miss the old lot? Because there's a lot of times we still miss that old lot, even though it was stone and gravel. I love the new. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the new lot. It's
Mhm.
but do you miss that old lot?
Sometimes I think I do, but every time that I think I do, I think it's just a hit of nostalgia.
Right.
Like I don't know that I actually miss it. I liked the location because it was like right there on the water. It
Hmm.
had like had a good feel, but it was also a heck of a time to get out of. So
Yeah.
if you were gonna park over and see to be close to the tailgate, forget about it.
Yeah.
I used to park in G anyway, just because I really liked it. It was a little further away from the tailgates, so it cost less at the time. So I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll park over there.
Right.
And then when they moved the tailgate, I was like, okay, don't sell my parking spot, please.
Yeah, I liked the being on the water, but also I feel like it was hella windy all the time
It
there
was
too.
definitely
It
was.
was.
And you didn't have as much like protection. So there was that. But it was like we would end up because we parked in the Sons of Ben lot. And we would walk over to Larimer afterward then because that was really the only thing to do.
Yeah.
Because where
So
else were you gonna go? There's
yeah,
not much to do.
yeah.
It was literally walk over there, get a beer, listen to Jim's presser,
Mhm.
and then maybe, hang out there, get some food, and drive home.
Yeah, wait out the traffic there. But I honestly, I actually really like the lot now, especially since they paved, even though it's makes it kind of hot in the summer. But it looks so nice now. I mean, honestly, it's like the best paved place in the complex at this point, I think. And much better than the parking lots. But it's really a nice location having the building there, I think helps
Right.
tremendously too. So
Truly does. I
yeah,
mean,
it
like if
just
it rains, we have a spot to take some
Right.
shelter,
mhm.
If it's way too hot, we have a place to go and hang out for a little while. It's not too bad. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think all things considered, do I miss the old lot? I think for nostalgia reasons, yeah. But
Mhm.
I think that's really just rose tinted glasses. I like the new spot. I'm
Yeah.
glad to be there.
That's a really good analogy.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. Um, oh,
Oh,
we just missed Philly's just missed a
uh,
home run. Dang,
anyway.
so close. Anyway, um, so yeah, so let's talk about you being a capo too. What drove you to doing that?
Honestly, this is gonna sound I don't know how it's gonna sound. I love the noise in the river end. That's my favorite part is getting out there, screaming my throat hoarse, waving around a flag when I get a chance to. I enjoy that energy. I just like doing that. I've always said to people if I could have one job for the rest of my life, like if there's one thing like a dream job, everybody's got something fun like I want to be an astronaut or something. I would be a hype man all day. I want to be that dude who gets on the mic behind a guy and just says whatever that last thing you said was, but like real loud. Because I just love pumping up energy. And one thing that I do feel like we could always use more of in the river end, even though we have a lot of it, is energy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I basically use capoing as an excuse to be able to yell as loud as I want to. You know what I mean? Like if I turn around and I'm like, "Come on, everybody, let's go!" It feels less intrusive than just doing it as like a regular fan. But truly, I think the reason that I joined was to try to encourage the average fan to be a capo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Awesome.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
hopefully, the capo role doesn't always need to be had. That eventually we can all sing our songs and everybody knows. And
Yeah. Kyle, you're giving me a look there.
I was giving you a look
I felt like
because
it was what.
Yes.
you hit the nail on the head
Yeah.
to engage the fans and because that's the thing. I mean, one of our most memorable experiences, well, was the Andre Blake PK.
Yeah.
That was
The
epic
what are you talking about the one versus
against
Nashville?
Nashville.
Yeah, yeah.
That was
2021 playoff.
bonkers.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was
then
bonkers.
yeah, no, it was true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you were there, right? Were you there for
Oh,
that?
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah, I
haven't
mean,
missed a game at home, regular season or postseason, like game. Like I've missed things like maybe Leagues Cup or
right.
an Open Cup here and there, but I haven't missed a home game since I want to say 2021.
Nice.
So reel me this because I still to this day say like remember Mukhtar versus Blake, and it was like quiet at first because we're like, okay, what's gonna happen? We don't know.
Mhm.
And then it's just slowly that groundswell, Andre Blake, and then it just got better. And then he hits that save, and that place just went boom.
Absolutely bonkers. Yeah.
And then everything, anytime he got in that box, like just went bananas. Like that was that, and when Gazdag hit that against NYCFC, hit that
Mm.
goal, and that place just went erupted. I'd even say the Corey Burke goal. That
That
place,
just like was the cherry on top with that game.
That whole, yeah, it like, and that's our River End memories. I mean, what are your River End? What's the loudest you've heard that place?
The loudest I've heard it. Oh man. The 123rd minute when the entire place screamed shoot and Jacob Glesnes ripped one from like what was it, like 200 or
Yeah, it
25
felt like
yards out
200.
or something.
It felt like
Felt like he could have hit it from the other side of Chester, as you
Yeah.
know,
No,
and just rocketed it in.
Kyle's smirking at this because I had to miss that game because I was coaching at a swim meet and he was there with his friend, a different Todd, and I'm on the pool deck watching it on my phone and going bonkers on the pool deck. It's like in between sessions, so I'm not busy coaching at the time. And I'm just like, what? And like people around me are like, what is going on? But
And meanwhile, we're in the River End going bananas.
meanwhile,
Like my
Oh,
brain was
man.
just like,
you being there and I'm not there. But
good memories.
but no, 2019 though, Marco Fabian, that
That goal was that goal
against
was,
Red Bulls in playoffs. Yeah, that
Mhm.
was epic.
yeah.
But
That was
Good.
definitely a special game as well. That was I think that was the first game that I convinced my younger brother to come out to.
Nice.
So it was like
Yeah.
the first time that he actually got to embrace that with me. So that was extra special for me to be able to have him be like, that's the team we hate the most. Be like, that's the team we hate the most. And like, damn, I hope we can come back from this and then watch the actual
Yeah.
comeback and see that building. I think you touched on it the best is saying my memories in the River End that I love the most are kind of watching other people make memories.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I'll tell you a special one. Back in 2021, I think just gotten, we had just officially gotten our season tickets, I
Mhm.
think, but it was in the summer and it was that game that got rain delayed for a while. I forget who we were playing. Do you remember who?
DC.
We were playing DC, is that right?
Yeah, where we got the picture with the support shoe.
Yeah, because we were under the river and then, waiting out
Okay,
this
yeah.
and yeah, and the supporter shield's just getting passed around, and we're like, "Oh, cool!" We got pictures of it. And Adam Booth is in there with like Megan, they just leading everyone singing, like Bohemian Rhapsody and stuff.
Yes.
And that was like, we were still, newer to Sons of Ben and all that too, and we're just like, this is freaking awesome. We're having so much fun, just everyone there, and just, the first time we ever went in the River End, which was 2019. We're just like, this is great. This is so much fun. Like,
Right.
this is where I want to be. Like, the first time I saw the Sons of Ben tailgate when we went to a game, and we weren't at the tailgate yet or anything, like, I want to be over there. That looks like fun. And
Except for the first time we were in the River End, they lost on decision day to NYCFC.
mm,
Well,
Well,
that is what that is. But I
yeah,
mean, that's
exactly.
we still
the
had a good
hope
time,
that
though.
the hope I have for the future is that anybody that walks into the River End walks out going, man, I can't wait to go back.
Yeah.
I want to get back
Exactly.
in that so bad.
Yeah, and not gonna lie, I mean, yeah, I go in the press box and sometimes he goes in the press box more than I do, but it's like um I miss it when I'm not in there too.
We both do.
And Kyle and misses it. But I think we were still talking about who's going where on Saturday against Miami, but
I'm leaning towards it both in the River End.
we might just
So
both be
why
there.
not?
'Cause
I mean, we need
yeah.
to support. I mean, so
Yeah. It's
Uh,
definitely going to be loud from both sides that night. So
it will be. Do you have one more?
Go ahead.
So tell us about your typical game day for you. Any unique routines? What's your typical game day wear?
honestly, I used to have what I would call a lucky jersey because I got it. And after I started wearing it, it felt like we just couldn't stop winning.
Mhm.
And then I was wearing it at midfield watching the game against LA, and that sucked real bad. So we won't rehash that. But I was like, you know what? It hasn't failed me at home. I'll bring it back next season. We'll keep winning. And they did not keep winning. So I've been like trying new jerseys. I've been like, maybe this combination will do it this year. Maybe this will do it. I haven't found the magic one yet. In case you guys are wondering, it's not been good. But I don't think I have any like rituals per se, other than I like to get to the tailgate as early as I can. If not just, to help set up, I love seeing the people who I've met there. Seeing the, random people walking through who maybe I've seen before, maybe I haven't. But again, getting to know people and spending time with them.
I think that's what's important to us too. Trying to get there. We used to get there around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and just seeing everybody we know and trying to meet new people. Try to say, hey, come on over. You know, lately we've been going over saying hi to friends in Union Yards too,
Do you think Union Yards is cursed, by the way?
Yes, that's a good question.
I would like to say yes, because then it would take the pressure off the guys on the field. But I don't think so. I don't think so. I really wish I could say yes, but I don't think so.
So
Yeah.
They got the best tacos in town, so I
The
can't.
tacos are good.
the tacos are good.
I like it for
beer's
after
good.
the games. Honestly, it's a good place to hang after the games. But and Dave Leno and Sage Hurley doing their chalk talk and stuff is cool, and all that. I mean, it's a nice spot. And
Yeah.
we were saying for a while there too, well, Union 2's been winning and Union Yards was not open, but then that didn't hold true last Thursday when they lost at home. But
It's
So,
I've only missed two U2 home games this year, and both times have been either going to extra time or this loss here. So again, that's on me, my bad. I'll make sure I'm there.
yeah,
there you
we've
go.
enjoyed going to the Union 2 games. And just I went on Thursday. Maybe they lost because Kyle wasn't there too.
I doubt that. I tend to be
I
bad.
don't know.
I don't know. Was BR there this time? Because she wasn't there on Sunday. So
No, I don't think
yeah,
BR was
that's what
there.
it is. We need BR.
Yeah, I
We need
know.
BR.
I
We
know.
need more BR.
Yeah, any game is better with BR there.
I'm going to tell Ryan right now, we need a BR TIFO.
Oh, no, that would
Raven.
be sick. That would be sick. Yeah.
Clip that. Clip that.
Yes.
Send it to him.
Yes, that needs to happen.
That does.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so let's talk about, you mentioned some of your Union memories, but yeah, what are some favorite Union memories and favorite Union players of all time?
Oh man. I'm honestly I'm trying to think back through all of my memories, and I can't like put my finger on any one particular favorite memory. I don't think. I think it's just the culmination of all the things, again, like all the friends that I've met that I can just shoot a random text to now and be like, hey, how you doing? And we could just pick up a conversation and talk. And I don't know. I think knowing that, like the feeling of walking into the river end and saying I feel home again. I think that's just that repeated feeling is my home base. It's I can't plug down one thing, but I think, when I realized that was a home atmosphere for me, I think that's my favorite memory. But I can't plug down when that happened, but I'm glad that it did.
So, somebody put out his Mount Rushmore today.
Oh.
Have you seen this, Andrew?
What's that?
You want to?
Oh, Elliot Shore Parks put on, it was like posted on Twitter. So he was talking on WIP about his Mount Rushmore of Union players.
Okay.
And he
Yeah.
said Jim Curtin, which okay, Andre
All right.
Blake, okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
And he said Sebastian Latou, okay. And he
Okay.
said Kevin
Okay.
Sullivan. Now,
Yeah.
let's pump the brakes a little bit
Yeah.
there, maybe,
I mean,
but
I think gosh,
maybe
who wrote the
someday,
article?
hopefully.
Somebody wrote an article a while back, and I will refer back to it. I'll try to remember, but the title of it was "Let's all be normal about Kevin Sullivan."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like he's a really cool kid. He's a goofball off the field. I don't know if you guys have gotten to meet him or get to see him or whatever,
Oh,
but
yeah.
he's definitely a 14-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Listen, I teach 14-year-olds, so I'm just like,
And we've coached a lot of
yeah, well,
14-year-old
yeah, that too.
phenoms that have gone to have great success and
Mm-hmm.
also have plateaued. I mean, we don't
I,
know.
again,
Hopefully
I
he'll
won't put
get
any
there.
Exactly.
aspersions or anything. I don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
cast anything on the cabin or anything
No,
like that.
no,
I hope
neither do
one day
we.
he is on our. I
I,
hope that
I
he is
hope
on there one day.
I hope so too. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think we all do. And I think and it's very fair to say he's the best player to come out of the academy.
Oh, for sure.
That's
Yeah, I
not
mean
an
his
issue.
brothers are very talented players
Yep.
as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're all great individuals. We have a lot of, we had the Aronsons coming out of the academies as well. We've got, a bunch of the homegrowns coming up. We got a bunch of people coming through the academy. Hi, Katie. Um, but
Especially
there's a lot of local talent coming up and a lot of kids to watch out for that I think, could be those Mount Rushmore kind of guys. Like I don't think that they're up there yet, but I think Quinn and Jack McGlynn has been
Mhm.
fantastic for
Mhm.
us. I think he was one of those guys that we were looking to see take a step forward in the last off season, and he definitely did.
Yes.
So I don't know that they belong up there quite yet, but I think some of our homegrowns are definitely going to end up on my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Blake deserves that spot. Seba deserves his spot. I think Daniel's earning his spot day by
Mhm.
day. I still want to see more goals in open play than
Yeah.
just from in the box. But yeah, hopefully the Mount Rushmore is not something we can set in stone quite yet. I'd like to
Mhm.
see the team grow a little. We're what, 16 years old as a club?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you really can't have a Mount Rushmore yet. I mean, we got to get
Yeah.
30 years deep, and then you can go back and sit. Well, you get what I'm saying, Andrew. I
Yeah.
mean,
I do,
it's like,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah. When your Ring of Honor has one person in it, you can't exactly build a
Right.
mountain,
I
Yeah.
mean, you could say Bedoya eventually, maybe
Like if we're
just
going by if we
from
had to choose people right now, I would say Bedoya on there.
and
But
Yeah.
Blake too.
Blake, yeah.
But I mean, we could look back and say, I know people are, right now, Ernst from 2019 to 2022 couldn't miss with his signings. Now you could look back at we could be back in pre 2017 union and say, man, wish we had Ernst as a GM, Jim, maybe he moves on. Maybe that's Andy Reid.
By the
But
way, update Phillies won.
Phillies
So
won.
there you go.
There you go. 4-1.
Yes. Anyway.
So, but I mean, I do think it's a little too early to be saying Mount Rushmore
Right.
already. I mean, I think the next one's going to be Blake or Bedoya. I really
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say
The
yeah.
guys who have been the backbone of our team for a
Right.
long time,
Yeah.
I on a personal level, I love Jose Martinez.
Yeah, same.
He's always been a very nice guy, very welcoming anytime you're around him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think even a lot of I got to meet Jesus Bueno, and he's a super nice guy as
Oh
well.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I want to see him getting more minutes as well. But I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
there's a lot of guys on the team right now that I think are deserving of that kind of praise. We just got to give them time to develop.
we really do. And so on away days, I've been curious. Like, I know you've posted a couple times, you've watched some of the games. Refresh. You're normally watching at that. Oh, what's the name of that place? You're watching away games at the.
I like to go to Soko Bag.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I know. Is it closing?
Is it closing? Is that what you
No. No.
said?
No. 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 There's another place. There's no.
I was
It's
like,
closing.
no, please
No. Wait.
no.
Wait. Wait. Wait, no. But yeah. So that's the place. Soko Bang.
Yeah.
The chicken. And so.
Yeah, they have great chicken. My God, they love they're
Yeah.
great chicken. Outside it looks kind of like a modern bar. But
Okay.
and they market themselves as like a Korean chicken place, but it is a very sports like Philadelphia sports bar. Like if you outside it's very clean and like a boxy, clean cut. It's got the logo with the chicken and the Korean letters on the outside, and
All right.
then you go inside and you're like, oh my God, Like I'm in Philadelphia right now. What happened? They have like a big on their wall, they have a mural painted. It's like The Last Supper, but it's got like McNabb and like all like the classic the players up there. It's fantastic.
So
Um,
what's your meal there?
Honestly, they have this thing. It's called like dusted chicken, I think they call it, or maybe they call it snowball. I don't think so, but it's like they have like an aged cheddar kind of powder, and they have like they fry chicken. Obviously, it's South Korean fried chicken is
Mhm.
what they call it. And uh, it's like it's really tender, and then they like roll it in and like an aged cheddar, like like popcorn. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
that sounds
popcorn
good.
powder. They roll it in like that kind of powder, and they've got like 5 or 6 different sauces that are like I'm a big dipper. I like to dip a
Mhm.
lot. So they've got like a bunch of like signature dips and stuff like that. They're also have a bunch of like in-house beers that are like they've got something called like the Vanilla John,
Mm.
and it's pretty good.
Look, Kyle over
Um,
here. He's like planning the trip in his mind here, I think.
No, you're looking at me like, oh man, vanilla, chicken.
they
Yeah,
have
we
a
might
they have a chocolate John as well. I'm not as
Nice.
big a chocolate guy, but
I'm more of a vanilla. I like chocolate, but yeah.
we
Vanilla.
might have
oh
to
no, I
make
like
it.
chocolate too, but in
Right.
that setting, not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that
S-
sounds good.
So,
Yeah.
what away games have you been to, and what's your favorite stadium?
My favorite stadium is Super Park because I've
Well,
not been.
Obviously.
right, but
No, that's I am going to expose myself as a terrible Philadelphia fan, or maybe I won't. I have never traveled to see a Philadelphia team play anywhere.
Oh.
Um, I'm so terrible. I've got a leg completely devoted to Philadelphia sports in
mhm.
tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just got my 76ers piece done on Thursday,
Oh,
so
nice.
like I travel for that. But my first planned trip is I plan to go up with my buddy Marcus, and I hope that I'm joined by as many people as can come with us. Like our friends Donnie and Ashley. They're like a big backbone in our group. Hopefully, my fiance Sabra can come as well. We want to go up to the Red Bulls game and kind of pack their corner up a little bit and see how loud we can get in North Jersey.
Yeah. No, we've been up to Red Bulls a few times, and that is that's a fun away day because we get so loud. We get really, really loud there, and so we'll be going to that. We're planning on going.
We're gonna go to that. I think that's a really good trip.
Hmm.
I know if you ever get the chance, Andrew, DC's fun. Oh, we got cats. Oh,
Oh, yes,
we
yes,
got cats to dupe.
yes.
So anytime cats are on, we always say on the show we got cats to dupe on the
Yeah,
show.
this is Ruby, by the way.
Um,
That had to
Yes.
match the energy with Fiona.
yes.
Nice.
So we got some female cats on the show. Oh,
She's starting to be over it now. She
yeah,
she was all like chilling, and now she's like,
but no, like I
yes.
think. What's your favorite stadium?
Um,
Now we're going to Montreal the end of the month.
yeah, so we're going to Montreal. Honestly, oh gosh, I hate to say it, but I thought like LA was really cool.
Ellie's.
We were at the MLS Cup.
I bet it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, it looks
Um,
beautiful.
It
yeah, it was a
is.
really nice stadium. Colorado was small, but like that was
Colorado with the backdrop before light,
like that was cool.
before the sun went down was beautiful with the
Mm-hmm.
Rocky Mountains in the background. I'll be honest, like I really like Cincinnati. I like
Cincinnati
it,
Stadium was nice. Yeah.
well, not the only stadium, just everything around it. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's a low key, really nice stadium.
Yeah.
It is. So there's some places if you get a chance to get to, definitely get to DC at some point.
Yeah, just be
Mhm.
prepared to climb very high. Is
I
the
was,
epitome
I
of
was gonna say I
invisible.
talked to Kyle, good old
Yeah,
Kyle the baby,
yeah.
and
Mhm.
fun fact, he does not like heights. So he was talking to me after the game. He's like, I was pretty sure I was gonna die almost the whole time.
Oh yeah,
So
and he was like at the very, very top
He
too.
oh yeah,
was.
no,
He was like right behind me there.
he's like
Yeah.
holding on to the wall.
Yeah.
Because we went up, well, you were up there with the supporters, and a whole bunch of us
Yeah.
kind of peeked our heads out. and we're like, man, they're way up there this game.
Yeah.
We've had some games where everybody's kind of all the way down field level, all the way up, but this one was like halfway up. So yeah.
Yes. So let's talk about your thoughts on the season so far. How do you feel about this 2024 squad?
I think my thoughts aren't very unique on it. I think everybody after our run to the MLS Cup, I think everybody was like, all right, well, let's run it back. You know, we obviously we can do it. Let's do it again.
Mhm.
And then we had a less impressive season the year after that. But that's it's hard to come back from that. You rarely see people go from a championship right back to the championship, especially if they didn't win.
Mhm.
Um, so like I wasn't too surprised to have a less successful next season. I was hoping for something better, but I wasn't too surprised. But now we're coming into another year. And again, it's like the pieces haven't fundamentally changed.
Mhm.
Um, like in some spots it's a little different, but like we don't have Corey Burke and stuff like that. We've replaced a little bit of the midfield, rotated a few people, but it hasn't fundamentally changed that much.
Mhm.
And I think that has a lot of us questioning why. But I think it probably has the players questioning why just as much. Um, I can't speak for the players. I don't know. I'm not in the locker rooms. I don't get to sit there after the game and be like, hey man, what's up? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And even if I could, I don't know that they would have the answers either. But it's frustrating, and I think you can see that on the players' faces. Um, before like not to get onto the topic, but mental health in sports is something that we don't talk about a lot.
Mhm.
When somebody's out with an injury or they're questionable, it's like, okay, well, why? It's like, well, his leg's messed up. Oh, okay, well that makes sense. Well, why is so and so not playing well tonight? Because his leg hurts. Oh, that makes sense. But if the underlying problem is something you can't see, um like if it's frustration with the fact that I think it's pretty obvious that our system has been exposed. Like the years that we were scoring 7 or 8 goals a game, the days of being able to joke that we played a football game and scored a touchdown
Mhm.
Mhm.
in Chester, are it's just not happening.
Yeah.
So I maybe there's frustration from the team in a lack of change. Um, but I think that starts with the team changing, I guess, a little bit, and that does have to start with Jim because he has to allow for it. But you know, when we go outside of the normal formation, we don't look so hot either.
No.
So
Mhm.
it's the question of what is going to work that hasn't been figured out that we're also comfortable with. Because if you've only been practicing one system for a long time because it hadn't been figured out and now it has been, you got to practice something else. And I always say that you should practice the same way you intend to play. Like if you don't bring playing intensity to practice, then you're not going to be bringing the same intensity to your play in the game. Um, and I don't know what's going on, but the guys look disappointed.
Yeah.
Like they look worn down. They look like they need something, and I don't know what that would be.
Yeah, I think that's really well said. I mean,
It
we've
really
seen it.
is.
Yeah, we've seen the frustration on their faces. Post game interviewing them, it's just
Oh yeah.
like, yeah. And they're getting asked like the same old questions too. And it's just like, yeah, I
Yeah, it's
mean,
like
just they're
what
kind of
can you do
deflated.
different?
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
I'd play better soccer. I don't like, like I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think,
you know, I did get to talk to Jose briefly the other day,
Mhm.
just kind of talk to him, and you know, I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "I don't know."
Well, and that's the whole thing. They're trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
And I think like and I said this on, I think it was the last podcast before we had Valerie on. Like Ty and I
Mm.
are walking out in the room, and as a coach, college, I've been in those tough, as I like to say, tough questions where you're
Yeah.
like, what's going on here? And that's the first time in a long time I've seen Jim just like, Jim's got to figure it out. I think the front office got to figure it out.
Well, yeah, and I think
Eh,
exactly what you said, they've been like the formation and their
Oh,
tactics have just been figured
it was
out.
figured out last year.
They know, yeah, they know the other teams know how to counter us,
Right. And
you know.
that's very much like you said, Kyle. They figured it out last year,
Mhm.
and I think we all watched them figure it out. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Like we as
Mhm.
fans were sitting there going, "Hey, I think they got it. I think
Well,
they got it."
I
And by
mean,
the end of
this
the
year,
season, it was like, "Guys, fix it.
you know the number one way to beat the Union? Give them the ball. I
Give them the
mean,
ball.
Oh,
Yeah,
give them
we're
the ball.
yep,
Because now
let them beat themselves."
yep.
the Union cannot,
We're not good when we possess too
they
much.
are so dependent on that counter
Mhm.
that they, now, to their credit, I mean, they're still scoring goals from not having, from having possession, but still, like you said, something's got to change.
But it's the little things too. Like you see it in the lack of discipline.
Right.
You know, like it's like they're making these sloppy little plays that are like they do it, and you can see them stop in their tracks and just like make that face like,
Mhm.
come on, like damn it, you know. And you
Mhm.
see like the little things happening where again, like the little things are building up to a point where like the red card in the last game, you know, like that it was
Yeah.
a tackle from behind. Was it a red? I don't think it was a red. I think the red
No.
was called because it was an injury.
Yep.
I think it was
Mhm.
probably a yellow card.
Mhm.
No, it's
Uh
yellow.
I mean you know, I'm
Yeah,
not here
exactly.
to make a ref's decision, but you know, I think like his readiness after seeing that the red card was flashed, he didn't even turn around and fight about it. He was like, "All right, I get it. All right, I'm out. Sure, I'm out of here." Um, so I don't know. I hope it's something that can be rectified with a good pep talk,
Yeah.
but it
Right.
doesn't look like it.
It
So
seems like we always come out strong in the second half.
mhm.
After whatever is said, it happens. Like if we could do that the whole time. But you also look at how we were against Portland
Okay.
and we had to change things up and so who knows? Who knows
I
what's
Maybe,
mean,
gonna happen?
maybe
we found success this season. I think it's just
Hmm.
finding consistency.
Hmm.
I think that's a big thing, and
Yeah. Honestly.
gaining confidence, because
Yeah.
2022 was all about confidence with this
Oh,
club,
they
and
were riding high on that confidence. I
so
also am hoping, really, really hoping that Julian will be good to go because he's been a big missing piece.
Mhm.
Um, so and depending
It's
on how
still
long he
questionable, but
stays,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
So
don't I don't know. And that's a huge question too. Like if we do lose Julian, you know, we have an unfortunate lack of depth in the you know,
mm-hmm.
I don't know.
yeah.
There's a lot of questions that I'd love to ask front office. I'll tell you that.
There's a lot of questions we'd all like to have. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Um, so moving on, let's talk about Union 2 for a moment. What do you enjoy about the club? With Marlon and the players, and then what are people missing out by not checking them out?
Well, first off, I think something like you already said his name, Marlon, the coach. He is such a fantastic youth coach.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
he, you know, people have joked with him before about, you know, like, would you want to come up and do, you know, like the union proper, you know, like, would
Mm-hmm.
you want to do, you know, union team? And he was like, you know, I think the best answer to a question that he gave about coaching, especially at the U2, was that um he's there to develop players, not necessarily coach them.
Mhm.
Right.
And so he doesn't want to see them stay there forever. You know, like a lot of coaches kind of very, I don't want to say like selfishly, but you know, when you get that good talent, you're like, all right, nobody tell anybody about that guy because we need
Mhm.
to keep him around because we need to keep racking these dubs up. But he truly cares about these kids, and he just wants to see them succeed. And again, just very genuinely nice guy. So shout out Marlon one time. He's a great guy.
Yes.
And I hope he knows that he's doing great work.
Yeah, he
Um,
does.
I hope he does.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And you know, being a developmental coach, you know, on swimming, that's like, you know, I want to see these swimmers succeed, and when they get to be really good, I'm moving them up to the next level. I don't want them staying with me necessarily, even though selfishly I'm like, ah, I love coaching this kid. They're doing phenomenal, but they need to move on to better things. And you know, it's just really rewarding. And I think, you know, he really gets that too. He's just got a really great way with the players. And, you know, I think he's doing great things with Union too.
So one other question I'm gonna ask: what do you love about the Bridge Brigade? Because they're a
Uh,
fun group. I
I love
love
everything about him. I
I
absolutely,
love what
Same.
they're doing.
Kyle and fucking LJ and Anthony,
Yep.
Evan,
Hmm.
Jake, Mike, the guys who really started it.
Yep.
You know, they're just they're fun kids, man. I don't know. They're not. I mean, I call them kids. They're not. They're young adults. We'll call them young adults. Those guys have so much energy and so much passion, and it takes a lot to follow the first team on an away game, and then leave at 3 a.m. to
Hmm.
travel to go to see the U2 play their away game as well.
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
so I love all the energy that they bring all the time. I love that the little kids are getting engaged.
Hmm.
There were kids behind us, not last game, but the game before that, who were like, "Hey, can we start this chant?" I was like, "You don't need permission. You can just
Yeah.
start it."
Yeah.
So like the watching the kids kind of get a handle on like, oh, like and some of them are academy kids, that are up
Yeah.
in the
Hmm.
stands watching, and they see us out there supporting, watch the Bridge Brigade supporting the U2. And
Hmm.
I think that extension and showing that we really do care about the academy.
Hmm.
um that's something I'm really proud of the six of the guys who really founded the Bridge Brigade. I'm proud of them for going out of their way and going to it. um because there hasn't been, I don't think, a good supporter group for a youth, or rather a developmental club for the Union, since the East End Army back with the
Oh my
Bethlehem
god.
Steel.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's going back USL days. Man,
So
that's
so
a good
shout
one.
out to anybody who remembers the East End Army. That's
We were never at a Bethlehem Steel game, but I heard stories from Fred and a couple other people about the East End Army, and
yeah.
it was quite
Fred
memorable.
is a great resource for fantastic stories about
Oh,
obscure Union times, man. I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what, absolutely. Shout out to Fred. But last question I got. What's your favorite hug flavor?
Oh God.
We're asking you too, kids. We might as well ask everybody else now.
Yeah, we've had Frankie on,
Dude,
we've had Neil on. We're gonna have another one coming up.
dude, by the way, Frankie, super, super well developed this year. He's doing
Oh,
super
I
good.
love
Oh
him.
yeah.
Him, Tucker, Dono,
Yeah,
CJ Olney, all those guys, man, they're
Hmm.
crushing it.
Oh yeah.
they are.
Um, my favorite flavor hug is the flavor that I'm drinking while we're all huddled up singing Piano Man at the
Hmm.
end of a U2 game. That's I don't think there is a right answer to that
Yes.
question, but there is a wrong answer, and it's purple.
And also Andrew Rick Green. That's wrong.
Yeah, dude. Andrew Rick is such a great kid too.
I
I love
love him.
talking to him.
Oh yeah.
He came up to a couple kids at the end of the last Union game, I think, and gave him a pair of his gloves and stuff. And
He's a great guy.
you know,
Mm.
he's yeah. He still has not responded to what the tree is in Spanish, but one of
I
these days
know.
we'll heckle him enough to get him
Yeah.
to yell
I
back
did
at him.
ask him at Meet the Team night though.
Yeah, we did.
Did he
And
know?
I,
Did
We
he
were joking
know?
about that.
oh,
Yeah.
he did. And he
Yeah.
also, I said, because I was saying, like, it was David Vasquez. I'm like, you guys like blue, right? And David Vasquez is like shaking his head, like, yes. And I was like, but Andrew, you like green. Andrew's like, yep. So
Go.
there you go.
We'll keep those in the back of our mind there. I like the
Yes.
gold ones we hand out at the end of the game.
Yes.
How's that?
Yes.
That is
Yeah.
good.
I know Frankie said he liked the blue one. Yeah.
So, Andrew, where can people find you on social media, man?
Dude, nowhere. I hate to say it, but I'm kind of a ghost. You can find me on Facebook by my name.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on Instagram, but I don't post ever. So I don't know. I mean, you could follow me there if you want. My name's Surprise for You on there. SURPRIZE.FOR.YOU if you really feel like it.
Mhm.
But again, I don't post anything there. So, but yeah, follow me to the Union games and catch me at, my network. Catch me in the lot. Talk to me
Yes.
there. Catch me at 138. I'll be there every home game, Lord
Yes.
willing.
Yes.
Nice.
And you'll be tie-dyeing on Saturday.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes. I really hope that people do come out for the tie-dye event. We had a lot of fun last year, so much so that
Same.
we had a second day of it last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, we did.
So this year we got some pre-orders out,
Mhm.
but we also have some shirts from last year in case people didn't order them. So please, if this podcast gets anywhere, please come out for the tie-dye event, please. We want to see your smiling, happy faces.
Absolutely. We're going to be promoting that
Yep.
from now till
We just love tie-dyeing
Saturday,
too. We
and
love just that
it's a great event.
we look we support the cause and we support Sons of Ben on this, and
Yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
fun, honestly.
It's
So
And
it's
we
a
want
fun
to,
thing to do together, and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
a fun thing to bring people together and remind us that it is about togetherness.
exactly.
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And if you're listening now, I think this show's probably gonna come out either Thursday or Friday. Like, if you haven't done it already, pre-order. Do you know, are there gonna
Actually,
be game day? Can you order there at the tailgate too? Can you pick up a
I
shirt?
believe there are going to be a couple extras. I
Okay.
know that there were a number purchased. There were a few from last year that are left as well. Obviously, those will be limited to whatever
Right.
size were left from last year. But yeah, I mean there should be upwards of 100 something shirts to tie dye. I
Let's
will
go.
also be bringing my black and white Save the Open Cup scarf
mhm.
to tie dye that as well because that feels like a fun thing to do.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. It'll be a fun event. We always have fun at the tailgates, but it'll be a little extra fun.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And wasn't it was your fiance Sabra who designed the shirt, right?
Yes, yeah. I love her. She's a very lovely woman with a beautiful, beautiful heart. She talked to I'm not gonna get her last name correct because it's hyphenated, so I won't go there. But Victoria, the woman who does our American Sign Language, what was
Mhm.
it? Mitchell Rodriguez. All right,
There
somebody,
you
the
go.
Peanut Gallery. She and Sabra worked together to talk about how they could do some more inclusivity kind of things,
Mhm.
and they came up with the LOVE ASL for across the shirt. So I know they're working on some other stuff behind the scenes without me involved. That
Mhm.
they're trying to do some stuff for, I believe, October, but that feels
Yeah.
a little late. But I know that they want to do some inclusivity stuff for then as well.
Nice.
So
Well,
just keep your eyes peeled. The social media page will be blasting out a bunch of stuff we're trying to do.
Excellent.
awesome. Well, the
Excellent.
shirt looks great, and we look forward to tie-dyeing it on Saturday. So that should be a real fun day, and hopefully the union can, figure something out and not only would it feel great to win, but to beat Miami. Okay.
Oh God, it would be so sweet. All the messy jerseys I've seen at random
Ugh.
games that he's not even close to
Right?
being part of.
Right? I
Right.
saw like several messy Miami jerseys at the game against Montreal, and it's like, why?
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 Yeah,
So,
it's
yes.
always felt weird.
Mhm.
It has. But thank you again for coming
Yeah.
on. Really appreciate it. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Just a quick programming note. Next week we will not be having an episode, and why is that?
Because we are going to be in Vegas. We are actually,
Hey.
yeah, so we have a busy day on Saturday because we have a swim meet in the morning, and then we're going to the tailgate to the game, and then we are staying over in Philly, and we're flying out at the Philly airport Sunday morning. We're going to Vegas, so we'll be away, but
Celebrating my 45th birthday
yeah,
and on Sunday, and then on Tuesday we'll be seeing Union Loney, Matt Real with Colorado Switchbacks playing the Las Vegas Lights in
yeah, in Vegas, and we're going to see
Vegas,
them,
and then
yeah,
we'll be on Thursday celebrating our 15th anniversary, and then we'll
mhm,
be back in
Oh,
Chester on Saturday
yeah,
for the Union versus Charlotte. Now,
yep, and we have some great interviews coming up
yes,
too.
we
So
do. We have
keep,
some interviews coming up
yes,
the
if
week
you,
after
yes.
with some players,
Mhm.
first team
oh,
and
sorry.
Union too. So
Mhm.
stay tuned for that. But you might hear from us occasionally because
We'll have content. We'll have
we'll have some
content.
content coming out.
It's
But
not necessarily a podcast, but
thanks again, Andrew.
yeah,
And
appreciate
this
it.
has been the episode for the One Team We Agree On.
Make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on our various social media platforms and listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you leave us comments. We love hearing from you and love hearing your ideas and input.
And until next time, I'm Kyle.
I'm Jillian.
And we'll see you at the
And
game.
I'm Andrew. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, man. Thanks again.